best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone.
Oh, what's up, nerds? What's going on? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to another live episode of the Aggressively Average Anglers. We got some tourney talk for you tonight. So I don't know if you guys have done any online fishing tournaments. We haven't. We sure have not. However, we are going to, and we have signed up for some, and we are excited. And mostly, we're excited for the big show for us. I guess if we want to call it that. This is going to be this Knucklehead Bass series. So Chad Hoover reached out to us, asked if we wanted to join up. We are now both heading our own teams. We are Ned Rig Nerds divided, a house divided, and I'm really pumped about this because it's basically just taking like the drama that we have every single time we go fishing together and just putting it under a magnifying glass and involving all of you nerds. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to dive deep into what we've been learning so far just from like any research we've done / reading the rules / starting to participate in these online tourneys and kind of doing our own fun little virtual tournament that Paul and I did this last weekend. So we're going to talk all the details, all the rules, ins and outs, and all of that. And we're expecting chat to come through tonight with some added help. Need we say help, please? So we're going to be looking and leaning on you guys. So we appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Paul, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Nice hat. We're wearing the same hat if you're listening to this. Again.
Nice face. Whatever.
You know,
we already discussed this. It's our favorite hat. This is the mule fishing. It is a Richardson 112. Like, it is the epitome of hat. So, I mean, I have two hats that I wear.
It's the preeminent headgear.
It's a 50-50 shot for me because it's this or MB. And, like, I know you wear some other ones as well, but, like, it's those
I have a few. I do like the Waterland hats. They're pretty nice. I like the old Richardson 112 Monster Bass hat. Singular.
Yep.
There's only one that I really am like. It's a great hat.
The new ones are garbage.
The outdoor cap from Okuma. So the red, white, and blue
one, a good one.
Is very good hat. It's a very good hat. The new ones that they have they're very good. But the old
not
one
as comfortable.
10%. The old one was 10% better. Super light.
Yeah,
so
it was.
You know, you get cringily picky at some point when you've worn 55 different hats. I mean, you get to a point where you just start noticing things. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, you're a human being, you notice stuff. And I have a pretty informed opinion on hats. Snapbacks only.
It's part of old age, is what it is.
It's part of fishing culture.
I will never wear a flex fit again. No offense to anybody that does.
They weigh 1,000 pounds.
Flex fits. I just can't do them. It's just
They
a
weigh 1,000
standard
pounds.
snapback.
Yeah.
Probably for the rest of my life. I'm gonna be buried in a hat.
Somebody
Probably this
asked. Somebody asked if they got sunburned today, and you know what? Anything's possible. It was 81 degrees today, and the
Yeah.
sun was shining. This is incredible.
I was so happy. I took my dog for a super long walk today, and I was
Yes.
just basking in the sun like, this is what I waited 6 months for, Michigan. Thanks so much for this delayed onset happiness that we have to deal with every single year.
Someone's already come in with big lever gang
Big
from the
level
show
gang in the
last night.
house.
You guys
Talking
missed.
leverage. All right.
You guys missed an absolute. That was on the members only, right? Or was
No,
that on
that was on last
last
week's
show?
live. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I got a big lever right here. Look at that.
Dude.
B Dooley won this Abu Garcia Revo SX with the Gomex's handle on our members only live. So if you aren't a member, you might want to, I don't know, consider it. We give away reels and stuff on that. Sorry, giveaway reels. You could win. Welcome, you guys. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. Also, Chaz, how you doing? I gotta say hi to you more on the show. Hi, Chaz. How are you? Yay. All right, cool. So we're going to dive in here. Big shout outs to our boys over at Monster Bass hooking us up with another gift card for y'all. End of the show, we'll do a $25 gift card giveaway, and that will be for the monsterbass.com website. Good for anything except for the subscription. So hang around until we chitty chat at the end of the show, and you might win yourself a Schmift card. Cool? We got other stuff we'll talk about with some of the other people we work with as well later on in the show because it's part of this tournament series that we're doing. So let's just dive in.
Should we first let's talk Q of the D. I want to know. I think we should each pick each other's spirit animal. Like we should go through this exercise to see how well we know each other.
Okay.
And I want to think about for a second if you had to if I was going to be reincarnated as a creature of the earth, which animal would you select for me? And then I will also be selecting a creature of this plane of existence that you would be as well.
Oh man. It's like
Mine would be manic and maybe very short and hairless.
Hairless? I feel like you have this creature in mind, and I was gonna go.
No, I really don't.
Totally different. Often, you remind me of like a honey badger.
Oh,
yeah,
I like it. It's
because
okay.
You die on every hill. Like you will die
on
every single hill.
A hill, and I will defend it with my life.
And by die, I mean you will draw blood from as many creatures as possible.
I like that. That's pretty good.
So Chaz goes with the naked mole rat.
Do mole rats wear clothing that they can remove?
Aren't all animals naked?
It doesn't really. I don't really know if that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel.
Well, that's just silly. B. Dooley says a chupacabra, and I think he's not far off either.
Wow.
It's like
that's
honey
not
badger,
a real. That's not a real
chupacabra.
creature, though. That's not a real creature. Well, all right.
Prove that it doesn't exist. Prove that it does exist.
I put albino mole rat as definitely more accurate. Okay. I think this is good. I think of I'm thinking of Jeff as some sort of creature that just like wanders around and is not what Charles is showing me a picture of a naked mole rat, and
it's
I feel
disturbing to say the least.
It's a little bit weird. I don't know what happened there, but I envision Jeff as like almost like a little black bear. You're just wandering around the forest, like not mean intentionally, but like don't get in my way, and like just sort of indiscriminately doing things. Like little black bears are never like doing any business. They have their own train of thought. They don't really care what's going around because like nothing else. They have no predators. There's no issues for them except for like humans. So they're just sort of like, today will be berries, and then we'll go do that. And then you go and you collect berries. And when you're done with that, you're like, I think I will go do water. And then you walk to water and you drink the water. And then you take a nap for like 6 months. And then like you have no problems. But like if someone were to try and tip the scales, you are gonna be in trouble. It's not gonna be a good day for you. So I think Jeff is like a medium-sized black bear.
Thanks, bro. I think this is that conversation that's like, okay, I'm gonna choose to take the positive sides of that.
But only a good friend, could do it with that tone. I don't think that like a person that doesn't know you could pick your spirit animal and be right.
No,
It's just
heck
not
no.
possible. And because it would be 100% nice to be like, oh, you're
Yeah.
really a go-getter, so you're a ground squirrel or something, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
thanks, you idiot, you don't know me.
You're reliable. You're a
You're a
German
bald
Shepherd.
eagle.
Yeah.
You're a real animal out there. And you're like,
Patriot.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. That's not me.
All I think about is Honey Badger don't care. Those memes, like literally, the person who complains
Oh,
the
you have
least.
facts? You have facts? Don't care.
Honey Badger don't care.
I don't care.
I'll die right here. Well, I won't. You will.
Somebody's dying here.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Cody says, I'm a walrus. I'm gonna choose to take that as a positive as well. Like
they're
if I
very
just
dangerous.
I shave all this, I do the walrus.
That does fall into the same category. Do the squid.
Yeah.
That falls into the same category as black bear though, because they're very much like mind their own business. But like if someone were to cause trouble, it's not an animal
Tusk.
you would want to play with. They're deadly. That's like more.
No.
Someone said Joshua Simonson says golden retriever. I don't know. That doesn't feel right.
I don't aim to
see
please enough of the time.
Yeah, you're not nice enough. I think that
No.
again, this is like somebody who really knows you would be like, yeah, nice try. I mean, yes, to the untrained eye, potentially, you have some golden retriever energy, but not. It's latent. It's latent.
Very latent. More of a like. So my dog is an Aussie Doodle, and like he'll listen when he wants to. Like that, I feel more like my dog. My dog and I get along. We're like the same.
And very sporadic. Attention, over here.
Sorry.
Oh, over there. Oh,
Ah.
oh.
Suddenly zoomies.
Yeah.
All right.
I just need to
And
pass
then
out.
lay down.
And then just pass out.
Yeah,
maybe that one's a little bit better.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, God.
I see a lot of interesting things. People say Ram because it's on your shirt. I mean, you do love your Dodge Ram.
I do love my Dodge Ram. I do love to
You
butt
do
heads.
love butting heads.
It's pretty fair. One of my
That's
favorite.
pretty good.
Also, one of my favorite animals, though, the mountain goat is like the mountain sheep. It's a badass animal.
Insane.
All right. This was
Tournament
good.
time.
This was fun. Tournament
That
time.
was
All right,
fun.
let's talk fishing stuff. That was good. So first of all, let's go over just the generic rules. Now, we're not going to cover boat fishing tournaments, and there are some significant differences between like a kayak fishing online tournament and like an official boat tournament. Like those two things are very separate. You got to worry about a lot more about pre-fishing. You have to worry a lot more about where you're going to put in when you're a kayak fisherman versus a boat fisherman. Because with a giant motor, you can I mean, yes, you can drive up river 30 miles, sure, but
you want.
It's totally different. You have to worry way more about start times. There's just way more things, like you can spend time graphing, like there's just so many other things you have to worry about that you really don't worry about with a kayak. So the mental approach is different. So we're only covering a kayak fishing tournaments, and that's what we do. That's our area. So we'll start there.
And we'll also say too, since we're talking about the Knucklehead Bass Series, which is a KBF tournament bass series, right? We're going by KBF standard rules. So there's other organizations out there. There's a lot of local ones. You guys should definitely look up in your state, look up in your local area if there's like a group that likes to put on tournaments. There's a lot out there. We have one in Michigan. We had one of their guys on the show a long time ago, Mike Ketchkowski. And
Tourney X though, there's other places you can go instead of fishing chaos, but like there are some general commonalities between all kayak fishing tournaments, and we'll try and stay within those guidelines roughly.
And the Knucklehead series also includes bank fishing.
Well, so let's do this first. So first of all, the Knucklehead series, let's talk about that. So what it is you've basically got all these like YouTube / fishing personalities that are going to anchor a team of 5 people in November to fish for a grand prize of $10,000 in a tournament in November.
The YouTuber doesn't take. So if you're on a team, all right,
I'm getting there. So those personalities that we each are going to have like a team of 5 of us. So Jeff and I each have a team of 5 people, but we have to figure out who the other 4 are. And this fishing happens down in Alabama, by the way. So if you haven't had a chance to fish down there at a
Huntsville, right?
legendary lake in Huntsville, Alabama, you will have a chance to do so if you qualify for one of the 4 spots. Now, how are we going to fill in those 4 anglers? Well, what we'll do is each team has a 4-month period, 4 1-month increments, basically 4 mini tournaments where so we have May, June, July, and August. So like in the month of May, if you were the person who catches the 5 longest fish out of all the people who enter for the month of May in this example, you would be you'd be the first person to qualify for that team of 5. So now we would have me and then one other person, and then we would do the same thing in June, July, and then August. It's going to be awesome. And then there are other prizes associated within those months. So Jeff and I are in the middle of like scrounging up some prizes for you guys that are going to maybe make you enticed to say like, well, maybe I don't finish first, but maybe I finish second, and maybe I want to get like a Monster Bass rod or something, or maybe I want to get a gift card, or maybe I want some Busby stuff. We're working through all those details. We'll post that when we can. But the idea is,
and on top of that, we're gonna throw our own stuff in there. So there'll be some, new sponsor stuff, but there's also going to be, Paul and I both have like giant sized totes full of tackle, just absolutely bursting at the seams. So we'll put together like some goodie bags too for, I think the top 3 spots.
Yeah.
Each month, that's 4 months, 12 opportunities.
Chances. Yes. And then someone asked, like, "Hey, if you're selected, you have to bring your own kayak down." That would be ideal, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. We'll find a kayak for you.
Yeah,
we have kayaks that are backups that you can use. Like, we'll make it work. So we are driving down. So whatever. Maybe we will figure something out.
We can do a big carpool if you live near us.
If you can get your body down there, we'll figure out the rest. And there's gonna be a ton of people. It's gonna be like a whole 2-day deal. It's gonna be a ton of fun, and there's gonna be a bunch of people down there doing the same thing that we're doing. So it should be a really great time. The other thing I want to mention, this is super, super important. When we were talking to KBF, the point that we wanted to make was, look, there's an opportunity for us to do more than just like make money. That's not what this is about. So we are going to donate 33% of what we make, a third of the proceeds that we make off the tournament. We are going to donate that to Autism Anglers. So you guys have seen us work with them in the past. You have seen us do fundraising for them.
Guys.
This month is actually, I believe this month is Autism Awareness Month.
Autism Awareness Month.
So it's a great time to be kicking this off. Granted, it's May, but it's a great time to be talking about this because of, that fact as well. So this is super important, something that's important to us. And we want to make sure that in everything that we do, we're supporting that mission. It's just important. And this is an easy way for us to do it. I think
on that note, so yeah, we're basically like, we're not looking to make anything off of this. Like Paul said, we want to cover gas money to get down to Huntsville, Alabama.
I want to feed myself so I make it through physically.
4 bags of jerky, 4 bags of cheese curds for
hour. Yeah.
And then 14 monsters and a whole lot of gas money. And like, that's all we want. And then we want to have a lot of fun. And hopefully one of our team wins. So the 4 people on our team can split 10K, and they'll be happy.
That was the other thing too. So if you win, like let's say our team won, which things happen. Any given Sunday and all that. Let's say we won, or let's say you won the 2nd or 3rd place prize. Like Jeff and I, our teams, that's split between the other 4 people. We wouldn't get any of that. So that's all you guys, and you guys would split that. We're fishing as a team. So pretty cool. And then we also, I think it's $15 per month. So you can do like just May or just June or whatever, or you could do all 4 at once. You could buy them upfront for $55. You get $5 off. And then this is the crazy thing, and I've not seen this before. You can fish from the bank, or you can fish from a kayak in the qualifying rounds. So the May, June, July, and August months, you can fish from the bank. I think that's awesome. I mean, we want to make sure that we're inclusive of everybody and everybody gets a chance. So if you have a bump board, and we'll talk about that in a minute, if you have an approved measuring device, a fishing rod, and then 2 feet, like you can participate, like you're good to go. I think that's
offensive to people without 2 feet, bro.
And yeah, that's a really good point. You don't really need 2 feet. All you really need is the rod.
Well, who said you needed 2 feet?
Totally fair.
Yeah, so I was chatting with you, Charles, to see if you had that link. I do have it. I'm going to put it into our chat so that you can pin it. Okay.
So
it's from our link tree.
Yeah, we will ping it. So you guys can find this in both Jeff and my Instagram account. When we post a video this Friday, I will put it in there too. It'll be KBF. you can go to KBF. I think it's KBF.com. But you
So
can find the Knucklehead series on the KBF site or within Fishing
kind
Chaos, which is
of.
the app you're going to use.
It's not very easy to find. So we
It,
have the direct link for you guys that is going to pin up. It's the Kayak Bass Fishing website
yeah.
/Knucklehead. You're not going to know how to spell it. It's spelled really freaking
That's so
weird.
true. It's because
I have
that's a
misspelled
brand
it
name. It's a brand name for
1,000
him.
times.
Yeah.
It's like KNUKLHED.
KNUKLHED. Yeah.
So, anyways,
Just take some vowels out, some key
click that
ones.
link. There's a banner at the top. In that banner, there's a little green register here button. If you click the whole banner, there's a button. Just click the button.
Yep.
It'll take you to go register. Or you can just download the Fishing Chaos app. And then
Exactly.
in there, you can choose the Knucklehead Bass Fishing series. And then once you register, like after the first option, so it'll be like your info, then it says choose your team. So here's where we get to our teams. So we are the Ned Rig Nerds. So we decided to choose two awesome Neds in the industry of media. So I went with Ned Stark from Game of Thrones, and Paul went with the old diddly doodle Ned Flanders.
I'm
So
sorry,
you
hold
can
on.
choose Team Stark or Team Flanders. And it also says, Jeff from Aggressively Average Anglers
Yes.
or Paul from Aggressively Average Anglers if you forget which team. So we don't care who you choose. We appreciate
Could
if
not
you
care
choose
less.
us, but choose whoever. Choose
Yeah.
both if you want to.
Yeah,
It gives
whatever.
you 8 opportunities if you choose both of us. And the more of the ticket proceeds we get, the more that gets to go to Autism Anglers. So
Exactly.
it's a win-win-win, you guys. But yeah, choose whichever. We don't mind, and we won't be butthurt about it. I mean, I might be out. We'll see. But it's all for fun at the end of the day. So yeah, if you guys want to register, you can do that now. You can do 1 month at a time for $15 each month. Comes out to 60 total for the 4 months. Or you can do all 4 at once, which is what me and Paul did, which is $55. You save $5 off the top. So
And so we
just an option.
have Jeff and I are both registered. So I've actually bought in for all 4 months already.
Yep.
I'm going to be participating with you guys just as like practice to be like, look, I don't know how this works. I'm obviously not going to take anyone's place. Like I'm irrelevant, but I'll be in there. I'll be there as well. We thought about doing hood, no hood. But I was like,
Hood,
no
Team
one is
Hood,
gonna
Team No
get it.
Everybody's
It's
gonna be like,
already
I'm sorry. What?
no one's already gonna get it the way that it is. That was so
Like,
much more
Team
obscure.
from the hood, team
Yeah,
not
we
from the
we
hood.
needed it to be, at least be somewhat like a joke that I could easily explain. Like the Neds
Yeah.
is pretty fast. So, but yeah, the hood no hood was, and also there's like you could read that incorrectly pretty fast.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah.
So somebody did ask about performance shirts. We tossed around the idea of doing like a logo of some sort. Mine's a little bit more difficult to get by with. Yours, you can partially
Mine
draw.
I can do it for
You
sure.
can partially draw Ned Flanders. Go ahead and draw a Game of Thrones chair for me. But
I
like,
can do that.
okay, all right, thanks, Paul.
I'm not going to.
Neat. So, well, I've got the Shopify details, so go ahead and make your shirt, nerd. I did find that on Printify, which is where we're printing all our shirts. So if you guys want, those are available. Chaz can post a link later, but they do have a performance shirt,
Yeah.
and I will say there's one sad thing about it.
Short sleeves or it's got a hood.
It ain't got no hood. That's the
Oh,
sad part.
great. And so it's perfect. There's
It's
no
a
issue.
no hood performance shirt. But I don't know, because
Wonderful.
sometimes you get those shirts that are it's like a workout shirt, but it's 100% polyester. Makes me
Yes.
nervous every
So
single
bad.
time.
They're
Because
not
it's
good.
either a hot box that holds all the heat in,
They're bad.
or it's better
just
and it
bad.
lets the heat out. But you never
They're
know
just
till you
bad.
get it. So it's not
I
good.
need to. I'm
Haven't
gonna
found
start
one yet.
yet. I'm gonna start yelling diddly when I catch
to.
fish.
Every time. Diddly.
Diddly.
Oh my God.
That's pretty perfect. I like that.
Yep.
So let's talk. I do want to get into the tournament fishing though. We've already been 22 minutes in. So those are some of the things that you want to think about, right? Like, well, how do I submit my catches? Okay, what are the limitations? Like, what species count and all this kind of stuff. So, how do you qualify for each one of these tournaments? So we've kind of already gone through some of that, but we'll use the Knucklehead series as an example. So in this case, it's not just kayaks; it's bank or boat. A lot of times when you see kayaks on there, it'll say this kind of motor is allowed or this kind of motor is not allowed. It's paddle only, et cetera, et cetera. Usually, these are limited to a very specific region, if not a specific body of water. So sometimes it'll be like Half Moon Lake only on this day, period, right? So there's
Mm.
a duration, like a start and an end date, and then there's also when you have to get your entries in, and then there's also a specific region. Now sometimes it's the state of Michigan or Kansas or whatever.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's two bodies of water, so you got to read and pay attention a little bit. You also are going to want to pay attention to like size limits. Usually 12 inches is the minimum of acceptable
To qualify
limit,
a fish, yeah.
because it's all based on lengths, not weight. Not weight
Right.
is irrelevant, so it's all based on weight. That does help even things out quite a bit, even for people who are in different states, right? North versus the South. The South are going to get a lot of larger fish just in general. They have larger strains of black bass. And
Mhm.
so, you get what you get. But catching a 20-inch fish, you can do that in Michigan. It's not impossible, right? And
It's just harder.
it's harder, but it's not. You
No, you
can't.
can't use
Well,
lead
even if
weights,
you
and it
used
wouldn't
lead
help
weights,
you.
it wouldn't help you. So there's no point in trying to
Need
cheat.
one of those,
Um,
like, shoe extenders where you, like, crank it and it, like, stretches out your shoe.
Gross.
I know.
That's
I
disgusting.
I
Now,
just I just guessed the next controversy.
you did. Now, the
KBF.
next thing I want to call out too is you want to, like, for example, you want to pay attention to where you are allowed to fish, because all of the rules will say you can only fish on public water, from a public access point. So this is a great example. Like, if I wanted to fish my cottage in Canada, I can't do that because everyone can't fish where I fish from the bank, my backyard. That only I can fish there, which means even though it's in public water, you can't fish from. I couldn't submit a fish in my backyard. However, the area at the end of my lane, which is like 30 yards from my house, 50 yards from my house, I could take my canoe, walk down, launch it there, paddle over to the same exact spot, catch that fish. That fish would count because anyone could use that launch. There's no rules. There's nothing. There's no
Yep.
gated community around it or anything like that. So you can't. And people are calling it non-municipal owned lakes.
Mhm.
You can't use your neighborhood pond, even if it's public accessible. Like, I can't. If I live in a new build neighborhood. If we had like a pond, I wouldn't be able to use that, for example.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
like, that is all specified, and each individual one, right? Each tournament has its own different rules. But in this case, because it's the bank, those are the rules, which I think is it's really good that it's clear, and it's very detailed. So it makes you at least sleep a little bit better knowing that the rules are they're enforced and they're very clear and detailed.
Yeah, and they're
Um,
all laid out on the website in a
exactly.
million different places. So you could Google KBF tournament rules too. You just
Now,
read them all up, which is what I
another
did.
another general rule is like how you submit your catches. So
Yeah.
general rules for measuring fish. Let's talk measuring fish. One, we'll talk about required gear. We'll get into this, but you have to have a bump board. We'll talk
I
about
should
what
have
that is
brought
in
a
a little
board in
bit.
here to
I
show,
can go
but
get mine in a minute,
yeah.
but a bump board, so a measuring device. I'll go grab it when we talk about gear in a second.
Mhm.
And then the fish has to be in the photo, head to the left, tail to the right. You have to be able to see your boat in the background. So your kayak, or in this case, the bank, right? It has to be visible in the background. You have to take it with a satellite enabled cellular telephone, right? You have to use like an internet enabled telephone. Um, well, that's really important because if
Who
you can't,
says that?
they
Cellular
can't,
telephone. My
they cannot.
cellular telephono device.
Exactly. Well, if you don't have that, they
Mhm.
can't verify
Yep.
where you were. So there's a time and date stamp in that, embedded in that file that you
In the
submit.
data.
And the data, it's in the files are in the computer.
They
Um,
are.
and then I don't think you do. I think it's actually part of, well, maybe you do. I actually don't know if you have to have location services on or not. I think that's actually part of the app if you submit through the app, but I don't know whether or not if you just take the picture and upload it
Mhm.
separately, I would guess you have to have your
So I guess we'll have to dig a little bit deeper on
yeah,
that
that's a
part.
good
Point
question.
is, read the KBF rules.
But
So,
you got to be able to take the picture with like a high.
mhm.
You have to be able to take a high quality picture. You
Yep.
also have to have what's called your tournament identifier visible in the picture. That would be on in a KBF tournament. It would be on one of these. They have
Mhm.
like a PDF with this card in there, and you can write each one of your identifiers, which is basically a number, that you put in here that says this is me.
Yep.
And you can have up to 5 on one card. So if you're fishing in 5 tournaments, that one fish can count in up to 5 tournaments or
Yep.
more, whatever fits on the card. Um, and then your hand has to be in the middle of the fish. If you are hiding past the last fin, you can't hide the tail and you can't hide the gill plate. So your hand needs to be in the middle of the fish. So if this is where the gill plate ends and this is where the tail begins, that last fin, your hand has to be somewhere in the middle there, holding the fish down. You also have to have the mouth closed and the mouth has to be touching the end of the board, which is why they call it bump board, because you're bumping the fish's face up against the gate. And I'll go grab mine in a minute. But
Yep.
that's how you have to take your picture. The rules are very specific because they have someone judging every single one of these photos, every entry, every single one. I mean, think about it. If there's 50 people in a tournament, they all catch 5 fish or 10 fish.
It's a lot
Each
of fish.
photo has to be judged by a judge within I think it's 48 or 72 hours.
And these days I could AI a picture.
It would be hilarious.
How close do you think
could do
AI
that?
is?
Not
Paul,
even.
Paul and I tried to get AI on
I couldn't even
Canva.
get it to make a picture of a fish that didn't look like a paper airplane.
It
So
usually has 47 eyeballs. So that's the first giveaway.
and like a
is it
paper
looks
clip
like it's from The
sticking out of its
Simpsons.
ribs. I don't.
Yeah.
But it makes it. There's a lot of things that happen in the background where it's actually difficult for you to cheat. Like there's things that
Yeah.
you don't even know about. But the other thing too is I'm gonna go get my bump board. I think that's an important one, so I'll go get
Yep.
that. Other general rules: pre-fishing. There's a limited amount of pre-fishing. Now, this seems to me impossible to enforce.
Yeah.
I think it's within 48 hours on Kayak. I'll have to look. You'll have to look. You guys will have to look this one up for me. But there's a certain time period in which you're not allowed to fish that body of water.
Sure.
I don't know how that's.
I feel
even
like
possible
definitely
to
when it's like a
enforce.
local tourney, it's a bit
There's
of a
no
bigger
way.
deal. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I think when it's on a big piece of water that everyone knows, like Kissimmee or
Sure.
like Okeechobee, that's easier to enforce. But
Yeah.
they also have really specific rules, just like all tournaments do, fishing tournaments do, about getting information from guides or paying for information within a certain
Yeah.
period of time. Like you can't do that. You can't go to someone who fishes this water professionally, text them and be like, "I'll give you $500 if you tell me where the big bass are." Like you can't do that. And Lost and Tackle just asked, mouth open and closed. It needs to be closed, and they have to be able to see that the fish's mouth is closed and the bottom lip is touching the bump board.
Which is tricky, by the way. So if you guys haven't done the
You explain
tournament,
that. I'm gonna go grab. Yeah.
if you haven't tried to get a fish to close its dang mouth on a bump board, it's super interesting. The number one rule is don't squish the fish. As soon as you start adding pressure, it automatically just opens its mouth. So you're trying to keep it from jumping away. What I find to be best, which took me 42 tries this last weekend when we did our little virtual tournament, which we'll talk about our results from in just a little bit, is and this is where I really like designs like the Bonafide kayaks, the Crescent kayaks, because they have sort of that built-in board holder section, which is really nice. So what I did in the Hobie, because it's wide enough, I just put my catch board on the and then my fish isn't jumping out, hurting itself on the hooks or anything like that. So I had out in front of me, lay the fish down, and it's just really gentle, just gentle pressure. Get it to calm down, just gentle pressure, right? Yeah, and once you bump it up into the gate of the board, it does end up chilling out a little bit more. So it takes some practice, which is why I definitely would recommend, if you guys get a chance before it matters, right? So we got May, June, July, August, where it's actually going to, if you're playing on our teams, and you can, by all means, just if you want to be, cooler nerds, you hang out with us. Cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out.
Oh, really? How bad is it? Because I can't change it. Oh, neat. So how much of that was heard?
Good.
Wow. I wonder why that is. What'd you do, Chaz? You're the wizard? Use your magic.
So,
Am I good now?
all
I was talking
good.
about. Okay, so yeah, all I was talking about is getting that fish to relax. Just don't add pressure to it. Slide it up to the gate. Gentle pressure. You're gonna be good. Its mouth's not gonna pop open. This is the board. But somebody was asking what boards are allowed, what's not allowed. It's catch is
It's
for
catch,
KBF specifically.
Yep. Now, and this is really it. They make 2 different versions. This is the Catch
Mhm.
X, which is a metal board. It
Mhm.
includes the trough piece and the measurement portion. And then this is a separate attachment. It's kind of nice because you can slide it up and down. This can move. And then you can move this to make sure that it's at the perfect angle.
When did you get that?
About at the same time. I told you about it. You said no.
Oh. Sounds like me.
You can, yeah. The other thing too is sometimes providing a sticker that's contrasting here at the bump board can really help a judge tell whether or not the fish is actually up against the board. So I've done that. I used my mule sticker. It was perfect. And then
Yep.
these catch boards have like these like retainers, which are pretty dope. You know what I don't? They make a plastic one though that's cheaper, so you can go check those out. Now, this one right here is metal. I'll tell you what I don't like about the metal one. I like that it's durable. I like that it really is very like that pops, right? The color
Mhm.
really pops
Yep.
there. You know what I hate about it? It is
What?
louder than crap in the boat.
Oh.
Like setting it down on the deck, it's like pow, 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 pow. I'm like, oh my God. Like I feel like I'm dropping
Yeah.
bombs in the bottom of that boat. I hate that. I'm thinking about covering the bottom of mine, the whole thing, in felt.
You're gonna have the most ridiculous catchboard I think I've ever
Why
seen.
not?
And you
I
did this to
do.
your last bump board too.
Yeah, and it's great.
You made it
But
float.
the other one was so yeah, I did make it float and it was genius. But I
Yeah.
really do it. Did you use this one?
No, it's because
Yeah, you
I
didn't get
met
to use
you
this one. I saw you on
after I
Saturday.
fished.
So
So
use this.
I have a plastic catchboard that I was
Use
already
this.
using.
Use this and tell me
Boom.
it's not the loudest thing in the world. My God.
I'm
So
sure, you know,
don't love that.
Honey Badger Paul was just throwing it on the deck. He's like, gotta measure this fish. And then he's like,
even
my
if
mouth
you
won't close.
even if you just nudged it with your foot, it was so loud. My God.
Yeah,
Um
so Nathan Johnson asked, correct me if I'm wrong, I sign up for one of these tournaments, I can fish it from my local area. For the Knucklehead series, absolutely.
anywhere.
For certain ones, they'll specify. If you do the Catch 22, for example, is another one that Rob Blade's called out. It is technically anywhere. You tend to choose black bass and then the name of your state or the MI for Michigan, for example, right? So you do have to choose like your state for that one, or you can sign up for the anywhere, or you can sign up for the just for fun, right? So if you're fishing one specific state, like we don't travel out of the state much, we're choosing Michigan,
But that's why I say
or
check the rules.
yeah,
So each thing that you can each tournament you sign up for has different rules. So the catch 22 is any species of fish, 22 varieties. So like a pike, I caught a pike on Saturday or Sunday, that would have counted
mhm,
versus in the knucklehead bass fishing series, it has to be a species of black bass.
yep.
Doesn't count. So that's why I
You
just say,
wish 20
you know,
inch pike,
pay attention,
boom.
right?
Yep.
So I think it's just something to think about. Well, it's something I think you have to think about when you're signing up for a tournament for sure. Um,
Yes.
so yeah. Anyways, other
Especially when there's money on the line, you should probably overanalyze
you should.
the
That's
the
what I did. I mean,
rules.
I read everything. I read the
Oh yeah,
entirety
well
of the rules.
we don't want to give anybody the wrong info,
No,
so we
no.
both read the rules a whole bunch
Yeah. The other
and then
thing too.
practiced.
Yeah. The other thing too is there are rules. Like one question I had was, can you troll? Because there are some portions of the lake
Oh, that's
where,
a good
or even if
question.
I was in transit, I want to troll just so that I can
Right.
fish while I am, going from portion of lake to portion of lake. You can troll. You just can't troll and cast. You can only have one rod in the water at a
One
time.
rod in the
Now,
water.
this
That
is you
makes
got to
sense.
be really careful. You got to be really
Hmm.
careful. If you were filming your tournament, you could get caught with this is technicality, but if a lure is in the water attached to your rod,
Oh, like hanging over the side.
that
Yeah,
is
I do
fishing.
that all the
So
time.
if I have one hanging over the front of the
Yeah.
boat and I don't have the it choked up, if the lure's touching the water, that's you're fishing. That's your one rod. So if you're
Ooh.
casting with the other one, it would happen to almost no one unless you're filming. But like someone could
Yeah.
call me out on it and be like, "Dude, you were cheating. You had two
I'm,
rods in the
I'm
water."
gonna I'm gonna pay attention to that now.
I did,
That's
dude. I
good. That's a
had one
good call
hanging.
out.
I had a worm hanging over, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm cheating." Obviously, right? But I was like, "I'm doing it. I'm a cheater.
We were doing a for fun
I'm gonna have to
tournament.
leave." I know.
Just Paul and I were fishing separately, and we're like, let's do a
Yeah,
pretend tournament, and we'll make a video out of it. And you were like, I'm a cheater. Oh no, what have I done?
I know.
Oh man,
Oh,
Lu- lure could be in a tree.
so the lure can be in a
Nice.
tree. That doesn't count. It
Yeah,
has to be in the water. So
yeah.
I read all the rules. But those are
Man,
the things that
you
I
found
found in those.
subsections I didn't
Those are
find.
things that I found really interesting when reading the rules. Just trying to learn and like again,
Yep,
trying to be aggressively average. Right? If I'm gonna
yep,
go, I'm gonna at least know. I should at least know what I'm doing. Required gear.
100%.
Um, required gear. So required gear, you need a bump board, and you
Catch
need a
board.
bump board a catch board in this case that qualifies for the tournament that you're fishing in. So in this case, in like the Knucklehead series, it's
Yep.
Sketchboard. In other tournaments, I'm sure you can still use a hog trough potentially. Like there are other brands, right? Other things that you could use. The reason that they want you to use the Catchboard is the carbonite board is harder than a lot of the plastic, so it doesn't bend.
Flex.
So a lot of
Yep.
people they will like flex it, and then you could get like another eighth or quarter of an inch out of your measurement by cheat.
make
That's
a-
one way you could cheat.
Could make
The
a difference.
metal, obviously, you can't do that. So
Yep.
you know. Oh, the other thing with measurements. Let's say you're in, you're. I'll do it right here. So if you're listening, I'm holding up my
You're
measurement
in
device.
between.
Now let's
Yep.
say you're in between one of these lines, which is very possible, right? You could be if I'm 13, and this happened to me. Let's say I'm 12 and a half, but one of the fins is like halfway over. I'm still only going to be 12 and a half, right?
Lower
It's only
number.
you can't round up. You're always rounding down. So it's to the closest hash, basically.
Yep.
Which is
Makes
important when
sense.
you're telling all your friends, that was an 18. Like, no, it wasn't. It was 17 3/4. That's not the same thing.
You fibber.
Yeah. I mean, don't lie to me.
Lie to
Cheaters
me.
never prosper. But if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So there's always that.
Well, that's a conundrum that you're in there.
So Chaz asked, how big is my board? It's a weird question that you asked, but I was holding it up, so I'm going to allow it. The 26 inches is the one you want for bass. That's basically the
Yep.
largest bass you're ever going to see in your life would be 26 inches. They do make a couple of other models. So they make an 18 or 20. Is it 22? Something like that. A smaller version. That's
They have
really
a short
for like
one and a
crappie.
longer one.
That's
Yeah.
really for crappie.
Yep.
And then they make a really long one. That one's like 36, I think, or something like that. 38. That's for pike. So they make a longer one too. That's for like, other predator fish. 26 is the one you want for bass fishing though.
Yep. So yeah, there's rules. Go read them. Now let's other gear. I don't think there's
Cell phone. You gotta
fishing
have a
stuff and a cell phone
quality
you mentioned.
internet-enabled cellular telephone.
And a
You gotta have
card.
that. You gotta have a
Your
card of
tourney
some sort. So you gotta
identifier.
have this card if you're in a KBF tournament.
If you
And
don't
gotta,
show the tourney identifier, it doesn't count. If your tourney identifier is not legible, it doesn't
or
count.
visible, doesn't count.
Yep. If the whole fish isn't in the image, it doesn't count. If the board isn't level, it doesn't count. So like just get a this is why I say practice it, and this is what Paul and I did where we were able to go out and like, hey, let's pretend we're doing the tournament now. And I didn't have any of the identifiers at the time, so none of mine counted. But for the sake of our tournament, they wouldn't count for Catch 22, which I'm also in, or the Knucklehead series, which for our teams hasn't started yet anyway. So it's good to get on practice because then you can work out all the kinks. Like,
Yes.
how do I lay this fish out? How do I get the mouth?
Where am I
get
going
a
to keep my catch
system
board?
Where I have a great spot. I'm sure you do too. Like I use those the Yak Attack road grip holders. The catchboard fits in them sideways perfectly. So it's snapped in. It's not going anywhere. I didn't even use a leash on my plastic board, which also doesn't float. But that makes it easy access. I can pop that out, bring it up front, get my, you get a system down, right?
Yes.
So if you don't have a system, you're going to have a rough time in your first tournament. So practice makes perfect.
And then other required gear would be fishing gear and some kind of
Probably
so you got to have a way to
hooks.
fish that fits
Yeah.
within the rules, right? So but that's it. I mean, sunscreen is
there
not
anything-
everybody needs it. You don't need a hat. You don't need a shirt. Like those are not rules.
Yeah.
So
I'm
and then not
assuming
oh, go ahead.
100% of these tourneys are artificial lures. Maybe
they're all
bears
artificial
being
only.
said.
You can't use. So I guess that's true. You do
bears being
need
said.
lures. You do need lures of some sort.
Exactly.
You do need lures.
You can't use dynamite.
You can hand line a fish.
But does it have the line has to originate from a reel?
Yes, you have to have
so
had
it's just like if it gets jacked up, like you can just
correct
get it in, as opposed to like most boat tournaments.
Good call. You do need a PDF if you're in a kayak, so that's also a very good call.
Very important. How many times have we mentioned you guys all need a PFD? By the way, it's not a PDF. A PDF is a document.
Thank you very much. God, it's so easy to mess
personal
up.
Flotation device.
Personal
Everybody
digital
needs
file.
one.
Perfect. So
you always do that.
I know.
Like, where's my Adobe Acrobat? I need to read this thing.
So we're going to talk about prep in a second. No, live beta is not allowed. We're going to talk about preparation in a second, but I wanted to talk about, as the mid-show segment, we're going to take a little break here, a little pause. We're going to talk about, I posted a TikTok / reel, whatever you want to call it.
It did good.
about the power, it banged, about the power bait gilly, and it got some attention. dude.
What a controversial bait,
My
by the way.
my deal with that was like I wanted some tips on other ways to rig because I rigged it the
Yep.
way they say on the package, which is an EWG hook sideways.
I didn't like
And
any of their advice on how to
well,
rig it,
I
honestly.
know theirs was good. So I posted a follow-up video today. There was some really there was some really good advice. I got advice
No, no,
to
no. Advice from the power bait packaging I'm
Powerbait was
talking about.
garbage. Yeah, Ike
That's
had
what
a
I'm saying.
video
I
that I
think
did
everybody
watch.
else came through in chat and
Yeah,
gave us
chat came
great
through.
advice.
Comments
Yeah.
came through. So the ones that I mentioned, the one that I thought was the most helpful was there are two hook hiders right on the side, and they're at two angles. One of them is directly parallel with the fish. The other one's angled downwards. And someone actually sent me a video, kindly enough, on Instagram. Was like, take that bait, don't rig it straight, rig it downwards. That is going to
Yep.
help you tremendously. They also said use a screw lock hook, which
Yeah.
would totally make sense now. So you screw in the front and then you poke the hook through the back instead of using an EWG hook. They're like, that is going to drastically improve the durability of the bait, and also it's really going to help that whole sideways thing. Because when I casted it out, it floated a ton, like it floated right to
Very
the top
floaty.
basically,
Yep.
and it didn't swim at all. So I found out the HD version is like way stiffer than the regular.
Yep.
And then it when I tried to reel it in, I was like, this just doesn't work. This is bad. It was totally sideways. So I really didn't like
Yep.
it. Now someone did say take a nail weight and stick it in the belly vertically, and
Yep.
that will help get it running right. That was probably the most
That's
repeated
interesting.
offering of help. A lot of people said Texas rig. I really don't like that.
I don't either.
Personally, I don't. I like the idea of a Tokyo rig way more because I can run it on the bottom and it's still going to be facing the direction I need it to face all the time.
Sideways though?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good. You're good. I like that a
Yep.
lot. The other thing people mentioned was your hook setting. The hook setting deal is going to suck. It's really going to suck.
Yeah.
Like, because you
When
have
you're
to sweep
sideways
it
and
to
on
the
an angle.
You have
Yeah.
to sweep it to the correct side. You have to know
Right.
which way the hook point. Because if you pull the other direction,
Yeah.
you're actually pulling it out of the fish's mouth entirely from the smooth side of the hook. I was like, dude, this is bad. That's bad
Kind of
news
hating
bears.
this. I'm
I
glad we
really
only
don't like the
got one
gilly.
pack.
And I actually even thought about drilling through it, like boring through it, putting a
To a through
straw through
line?
it, and doing a
Yeah.
through line. I thought with a treble. I'm like, okay, that could work. Like
I don't
that.
understand. Like, it's really hard to rig it upright. It swims amazing upright. So I don't understand why.
So someone said weightless Texas. That's what I did. But you have
It
to rig
was
it
horrible.
sideways. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It didn't
And I
work.
did
It's really
I
bad.
rigged it belly weighted sideways and it was horrible.
It's too big for a
Um,
chatterbait too. A couple people said chatterbait. It's way too big. And by the time you put all that hook through the bait, you will have mauled it. It's solid all
yeah,
the way through. It doesn't have the open belly like a lot of other baits do that allow you to really like set
right.
it correctly. The nail weight was good. I thought it was really good advice. I also thought that on a Carolina rig, this could really be a good bait, like a
I'd
free
love
rig
to
or a
see that.
Carolina rig. I think that it actually could do pretty well. Now Christine Fisher did a video on rigging the gilly. Hers, I think, was on the what I've seen her fish is the smaller one. I have the larger one. The smaller gilly,
Yeah.
everyone has said nose hook
Everyone
it
says
or
better.
screw lock and nose hook it and run it as a power
Yep.
shot, like a power drop shot. That
Yep.
makes so much sense. I totally
Yep.
get that. You can't do it with this. You would never catch a fish. It wouldn't even get its mouth around the bait. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Right.
Um, but I will say, chat came to the rescue and people were very much like in line. Like they all
Yep.
had the same feedback. I made a follow up video. I posted it today. So
Yep.
just to let people know that I'm going to try these, 3 or 4 things and then said thank you. And I'm interested to see because that's an expensive bait. It's not a
It
cheap
is. It's
bait. And
not
if
cheap.
if I compare that, I say they're equal level of difficulty in terms of like mentally looking at a bait and thinking about how to rig it between that and the what's the very ribbed one that's been out for a while that tastes like Doritos or looks like smells like Doritos?
The bellows gill.
Bellows.
Yeah.
I'd say they're equal, but the Bellows gill fishes
From
1,000
G-Crack.
times better, 2,000 times
Yeah.
better, and it's expensive too. But you get a 6 or an 8 pack, so it's like
Mhm.
they're $1.25 a piece. So my thought, really, I don't. It's
And
an L. It's kind of an L, and the
I
HD
enjoyed
series for sure an L.
The HD is trash. We made a mistake there. I don't think I have an HD. I think you
You
do.
have the regular. I got the HD. We wanted
I
to
have the
try both of
regular.
them. We wanted to try them out.
Yep, yep. The Bellows Gill is great. I love the Bellows Gill. I've caught a lot of
I have a
fish.
question from chat for you guys, by the way.
What's the
from
question,
chat,
Charles?
Teak Speak wants to know how to get started with the Ned rig because you are the Ned rig nerds.
See, I liked his previous comment said, "How do I get started with the Ned Rick and then Ned Rich?" And I was
I like Ned Rich. That's good.
Make Ned rich. Like, the Ned rig. How to get started? Well, I mean, the easiest way to get started, just go get some Z-Man packs. Get the mag shrooms, which are their Ned rig jigs. They're super cheap. You can get them at Dick's Sporting Goods. You can usually get them on sale if you have a Sporting Goods card, which I first started getting into the Z-Man kits. They sell a kit. You can get a discount. Like that's the deal. And then go ahead and grab any colored plastics you like fishing right now.
Just get green pumpkin. Just get
green pumpkin's a great place to start. There's a ton of different colors out there. Z-Man has a million colors, so just pick something that you're comfortable with for right now. You can catch on all of them. We personally really like the copper truce up here, copper flake chartreuse. We know that we've been told it doesn't work everywhere, but it sure as heck works great everywhere I've fished in Michigan, all state. So if you're by me, copper truce. If you're not, other great colors are out there. So just play around.
They're
Green
all
pumpkin
good.
is the best way to start.
I think the color, I'm using air quotes, the deal is the name of the color.
It's called the deal.
That is
it's like
very
blue
good, like
pumpkin.
it's a bluish gray,
Mhm.
like silver belly color. It's awesome. It's
New
like
money. New money
is
is one of my favorites. It's a
very good.
shiny green flake, and it's got copper in it.
Yep.
So it's like a two-tone kind of bait.
It's the darker version of the copper truce.
Yeah.
So but honestly, the biggest thing though with the Ned rig, if you really want to be successful in the most normal scenario, find a place that has a rocky bottom or a semi-rocky bottom that's not completely choked by like weeds. Or go fish the river and run it on the bottom. I feel like as close to the bottom as you can, and
it's
then
bottom bait.
And you will catch fish. It will happen for you. That's the scenario you really want to target. Docks that are not super weedy are you will if you go out and do that and just do it enough, you'll catch fish. You'll start getting into them.
Yeah,
also, really important.
Yeah,
tackle. Like you're gonna want to be on a medium or a medium light, and it's got to be fast or extra fast. Those things are going to make you incredibly successful. A spinning setup, that is going to make you very successful. If you run it on anything else, you're going to be disappointed and it won't make sense because it's just not the way it's intended to be run.
Yep. So yeah, spinning gear, go for that fast action. I like medium light personally. I mean,
medium's great though.
You're not really fishing a lot of heavier Neds. Even if I'm in the river, the heaviest I go is
quarter ounce.
Quarter ounce. That's it. There's a giant mosquito in here. But yeah, so I mean, like do that, dead stick it. If you're not getting any bites, then start hopping it around a little bit. Start slow, speed it up. You can power fish the Ned. I actually did I just drop that video? I just did a video on Monster Bass, so there should be a Ned rig video over on the Monster Bass YouTube channel, and I've done probably a dozen with Paul here, and I've done a bunch on MB, so there's a bunch of others, and there's also obviously really smart people out there that are much smarter than us, so
yeah,
lots of YouTube. YouTube is how you learn stuff. That's how I learn stuff.
So should we talk like prep, like how you get ready for your tourney?
Yeah, so let's dive back in. We'll talk like as far as how we prepped this past weekend, right? So Paul and I did a virtual tournament with each other, and we were the only participants because that way you couldn't get worse than second place. No, we were like, hey, you go fish whatever lake you want. I'll go fish whatever lake I want. Yep. They ended up being on different days, which were completely good old-fashioned Michigan weather here. Yeah. My day was 32 in the morning, 54 at the highest. Well, water temps were 47 degrees. Paul's day got up to 73. Water temp wasn't too much different because water takes a lot longer to warm up. So it was like 48, 49 at most.
Oh, no, like 47 was the high.
So you had the same water temp. I thought you said yesterday on the members only live it was 49.
48, whatever. I think was 47 something was the highest I ever saw. Yeah.
It's the same. Okay. So same water temp, different bodies of water, both smaller bodies of water. And yeah, I was fishing my home lake, which is known as Dink Lake. And we've caught 2 big bass out of there, and that's it. The rest of the time, all little guys. So I was like, okay, if he catches 5 fish, like I'm gonna have to hustle to figure this out. So for tourney prep, make sure you have all that gear that we talked about. Make sure you know your reels or your rules, and you have your rods and reels, and then that you have your catch board, which I forgot, and Paul will see in a clip. Basically, I got to the ramp, loaded the boat out, got in, backed up, and I was like, I have no way of winning this tournament right now because I have no measuring boards.
Wow.
So pulled back in. Luckily, my house is 1 minute away, so I just like drove back to my house, left my kayak at the ramp, and came back and got it. But yeah, make sure you have your board and your tourney identifiers, and then get that system going, right? So get a couple fish in and start getting used to laying them out, put the card on, right? So as far as like prep goes, what I'm doing is what we all, right? So we're looking at the body of water fish, generally thinking, where do I want to go fish this thing? Depending on the time of day, what's the water temp, what's the air temp, all that stuff. And then just fish, like do some fishing stuff, figure it out as you go around. You're trying to get those qualifying fish. So there was a system, and maybe I'll let you go on your prep first before I get into kind of the system that I was figuring out throughout the day. So how did you prep for it? And then we'll get into that.
So mine was a little different because I went to a different body of water. But before I get into that, we got Autism Anglers in the house live.
Oh, hey.
So
What's
welcome.
up, dudes? Welcome.
Welcome. And yes, we are talking about the Knucklehead series, in which a third of the proceeds are going to go directly to Autism Anglers. So say hi. Do that now. My prep for tourney day was for sure gear. So I went through and I got my catch board all set up, and I figured out where I was going to put it, and I kind of just generally knew how I was going to manage everything. Definitely did that. Now, I will say this. My prep, I went to a different lake. I went to a lake that I've never fished out of a kayak. I fished from the bank one time for like 30 minutes with my kid. Like, that's it. I know of it. I know the shape of it. I didn't know anything else about it. So I actually went to the Michigan DNR site and I looked up the depths. I looked where they placed fish traps. And then I looked to see what the bottom composition was like. So I wanted to see like where the marl, like all the soft stuff was.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I kind of put a game plan together of like my top 3 places I wanted to go. It's my like smaller than the one Jeff was on, but it's still pretty big. It would have taken me 30 minutes to go up and down the lake. So not small, but not huge.
Yeah.
I only made it a quarter of the way through the lake as it stands. So that's honestly, that was my biggest mistake, was not going to my second and third spot after the chatterbait didn't start banging. So that was on me.
Mistake that we always
Haven't
make,
we
right?
all make that mistake?
How much time do you spend at the ramp where you're like, man, it looks so juicy right here? And then you just didn't go anywhere.
Caught the 17 3/4 right there. So it's like,
Figures. I'll stay here.
Yeah. Well, and anyways, so and then I kind of made this other mistake too. I was like, well, instead of just fishing what I think will work, I'll fish what may work, but baits I've never fished before. So I was gonna try and do another video. I thought I was gonna have more time, frankly. I only had like 2.5 hours. So that also sucked. But yeah, so I knew where I was gonna pull up, I knew where I was gonna launch. I knew my first one, I had 1, 2, and 3 spots picked out, and I was ready to go. So to me, that was my preparation. It was like, where am I going to fish? What's my general strategy? Where am I going to start bait wise in the morning, or in this case, the afternoon? And where am I going to, like, what's number 2, 3, and 4? And then I had like 5 and 6 ready to roll in the back, my back pocket. So I kind of had a game plan that I was going to try and execute going into it.
So I think that's great. So segue into gear prep. Yeah, I had 6 rods in the boat. I knew exactly what I want to use. I had a spare. I was trying to side hustle. I was like, I'm gonna test this out. And
you did the same thing. Your mic was cutting out. You said you did the same thing I was gonna do, where you were like, you were gonna try some other baits as well.
Well, I was trying my TFO ultralight.
Oh, got it.
The panfish. So just got that panfish rod, the trout pan rod from TFO.
Nice.
So I wanted to try that out. I did catch a few fish on it. It was just the crappie. They don't count for this tournament. So I was like, moving on, get back to it. They do count but not for me because I didn't have my tournament card. Whatever.
Oh yeah.
So
and then that was the other thing, is like getting your card ready, making sure you have your tourney identifier set up.
Got the identifier.
That's absolutely part of it. And then making sure that you've got food, water, sunscreen, like whatever you need to fish through that day. So if rain's in the forecast, bring your rain gear, right? If you may have to go to different launches, because you can launch at different points, you can pull your boat out, drive 6 miles up to number 3 spot, and plop in there. Like
Yeah.
be ready for that.
If
Also in
you're
kayak
not getting it, yeah.
yeah, also I would say be prepared to see other anglers in your spots.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's why you need spots like 1 through 5. Because or be ready to drive somewhere else because it's very common when you're all in the same lake to
Right.
where you might be the second or 20th angler to hit that spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you may roll to your number 1 and there may be 3 guys there because they have a motor and you don't, and you were pedaling or
Mhm.
paddling or whatever. And to be ready for that. Especially when you are dialed, like you guys are limited to 1 lake. So those are the types of things. That's what I mean by preparation. So it's like read the rules, tailor your gear for the rules, make sure you have everything you need to be competitive, make sure your friggin' phone is charged, right? That's the type of stuff I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Phone is charged, you've got your identifiers all set, you paid your entry fees, like your phone friggin' works, like all that stuff. Go through and do all that.
The
Get your board
lures
ready. And then tie on your baits. If that saves you
that's what I was
7
gonna
minutes,
say.
tie on your baits ahead of time.
Do it
And
before you
then
get there.
pack your bag the night before. Don't pack it in the morning. Pack your lunch the night before. Don't pack it in the morning. Like, just be ready to walk out the house, really,
Yeah.
and then go
And
fish. Like, that's what it comes down to.
and like be ready to change tactics. So for me, I would say, you can have an initial game plan is great. When you get on the water, that's when it's reality hitting. So what are the fish doing? What are they reacting to?
Yep.
What's working? What's not working? Don't be afraid to change it up. Don't be afraid to move. Don't be afraid to move clear across the lake. If you're not getting bites, tournaments, sometimes if you have short time, especially, so if you've got vacations or you have to go somewhere like Paul and I did, then, you might need to make some moves. Like if I got
Yeah,
short
oh yeah,
time,
quickly.
I'm fully prepared to be like,
Yeah.
okay, dink, dink, dink. I'm
New
getting
bait.
only 12 inchers, throwing something new. I'm throwing something bigger. I'm going somewhere different, like you got to make that move.
What's the Mike Tyson quote? Like, everyone thinks they're a fighter until they get punched in the face or whatever. Or everyone's got a plan
Yeah,
until you get punched in the face. That's what it was.
right.
Same.
Everybody's
It's
got a
true.
plan until all 6 of your initial starting
Yeah.
baits didn't work.
Yeah, man.
And then you're like, shoot, what am I going to
And,
do?
and admittedly,
Yep.
as a non-experienced angler, a lot of this is regurgitation from people who are really good and who have
Yep.
who have said like, "Hey, this is how you do it." Mine may be
That's what
different.
this show is about, dude. We're
Yeah,
the aggressively average anglers. We learn from
yeah,
people.
but I'm
You should
at
too.
doing this in the next
Yeah.
4 to 6 months or whatever, I may have a totally different outlook. We didn't talk
Yep.
about like mentality, right? Because there is a mentality you have to have of like, this is really important, and Jeff and I will talk about this in the videos. Like, don't worry about the size of your fish so much in the beginning.
Yep.
Worry about getting 5. Like, just
Oh,
be
that's
concerned with catching 5. And that doesn't
yeah.
mean you can plan it out where it's like, oh, I'll catch all 12s and then I'll catch my 18 and 26.
Oh,
That's
but
not what we're
get
saying. We're saying
5
focus
qualifying fish.
focus really hard on just
Yep.
filling out the cart. Get your 5. Then you can worry about, okay, I
Yep.
really don't have any size. I need to size up. Like, you just have to get the 5 first. So
Yep.
I would say that. Second with mentality is like, we all have different appetites for frustration, and we all are going to have different days on the water and things that make us frustrated and take us out of the zone of like being
Yep.
focused and dialed and being efficient and effective. Know yourself well enough to know that like if you don't catch 5 or 6 fish, you're gonna in the first hour, that's gonna infuriate you.
Yep.
Know that. Plan for that. Bring a snack you like, have somebody you
Snacks.
can call, like have a plan for like
Yeah.
when you're having a bad day.
Yep.
That's what I
Whenever Paul or I call each other, we catch a fish. You called me when I was fishing my day, and I
yes.
instantly had a fish, and then I
I
got
know.
another before we got off the phone.
I did
So,
notice you. Yeah, you never called me, so that's fun.
well, I didn't want you to win.
Yeah. So, but again, like this is all a little bit hearsay, right? I'm not
Yep.
an experienced tournament angler, so I may have different advice for you in 6 months. So, and that being said,
We're
we did
gonna
have
learn
some.
a lot.
We did have some messages from some of our favorites
We
over
got-
here in the chat.
we
So we got Rock of
2.
Blades, member for 21 months. Thank you, brother. Snorlax crew.
Wow.
He is a thug. We got he says, joined my teams for the tourney. Recently upgraded my ultralight rod to the Dobbins ultralight rod, and I was able to buy it from Gary at his shop. I will be going again next week to upgrade my go-to rod. That's 2 big upgrades, big fella.
From
Congratulations.
the Dobbins Meister himself.
That's freaking nice. And then we got Chris Shue, who actually is the inspiration for the team names. He's the one who got us, I believe, the
so.
2.
Yeah.
Pops.
No, G-Fun. I think it was
Was
G-Fun.
it G-Fun? You're right. It was
G-Fun got us these
right.
2 Funko Pops that were both Ned Rig based, right? So I got Ned Starks right there.
Oh, genius.
Flanders is up on your shelf, which we can't see in the camera, but
he's there.
Yeah, he's there. So we got those Funko Pops, which is cool. And
But
that gave us
anyways,
the
Chris
idea.
Chris Hughes, also a Snorlax member, 20 months, says, "You guys are awesome. Hobie releases 2 brand new colors for 2024: Blue Ice to Black, Ice Blue to Black. Use your imagination, or Aircraft Gray to Red. Which do you choose?" So gray, red,
Can I just
or
say that
blue
these
to black?
companies dropping these limited edition color kayaks gives me absolutely no excitement
None at
whatsoever.
all.
Am I crazy, you guys? When Old Town dropped their Top Gun Gray, I was like, okay. Like, is it exciting? Are are you muted or am I silently just
You're
sitting here?
silently
Okay.
not hearing anything.
Chaz,
So
you have to unmute when you talk to us, man.
wait, you cannot hear me?
I can hear you. Can they hear you? Is what I was
Yeah.
asking.
So
Okay.
it would be like when they release, like, if you were a gamer, Xbox 360 MW3 console edition.
Oh, the skinned consoles?
Yeah,
Video
with the
game
different
consoles?
sounds.
I never cared
Yeah,
about that at all.
but I think that's what they're trying to
Oh.
get into with that.
So I'll say, for the sake of Chris Yu being Chris Yu, because I appreciate this. Ice blue to black or aircraft gray to red. I hate red on a kayak, so I would have
Horrible
to go
color.
blue to black.
I have
Red
blue.
kayaks make no sense. My kayak almost makes no sense. That's chartreuse. So, but I mean, I can get behind it. Ice, any gray, blue. I mean, that's fine. I'm on board. Red, get me out of here. No way. No, thank you.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care about the
not
visibility.
good.
I hate a red kayak.
Yeah, it's
I
not great. I
vehemently against it.
I would go blue to black, I guess, but like
Yeah.
I don't know why they would release a black and blue when they have one already. I personally, for me, what I've always been mad about is that there's no camo option, or
All
just
the
tan
old
or
school
gray.
camos went
Yeah,
away.
I want
So
I want
you had the Predator MX. I even liked the Arctic camo that I had with my Predator.
yeah,
The Old Town that I used to
yeah.
have. Like, that was great. Bring those colors back.
I don't know
But
why we can't have camouflage. It still makes
I
me
don't know.
upset.
End of the day, I'm just not a fan of limited color kayaks.
No,
It's not cool.
no, and
If it's a lure, it's like, cool, I can afford that. I'm not gonna be like, neat, you dropped a new color, let me buy a whole new
yeah.
kayak.
I don't know.
It's just not. Nope.
So
I had a
let's
couple
do.
questions I want to hit in chat real quick.
But
They're quick.
How many people are on right now on
Oh
the
yeah,
live?
Chaz, give us the number.
Are we at like 100? Waiting. 90?
Ooh,
You
not
guys are
even
way
close,
off.
you
We're
guys. You
not
guys
even
gotta
hitting
do
it.
better next time.
Oof.
Yeah, we bumped the number, y'all. So if you wanna
We went to
the
150,
extra
so if we want the extra schmiv away.
the extra schmiv is at 150 now, so we're gonna have to step it up, y'all. But that's okay. We're gonna do a Monster Bass Schmift card here in just a little bit. I had a couple questions. I saw some people talking about Z-Man and mixing stuff. The number one rule is don't mix non-plastisol baits with plastisol baits. So you don't take your Z-Man and mix it with Chase Baits uses different plastics. A bunch of different brands use different plastics. Don't mix opposing plastics. That's the number one rule. Can you store Z-Man in a tackle box? Absolutely. Not the
I did
cheap
it
ones,
for
though.
5 years.
I wouldn't recommend the cheap ones. You can get away with it. I did as well, with like a $5 Bass Pro box.
It'll
But
melt the dividers.
they can melt the dividers. So the only way I recommend it, you got like a Plano Edge, which is how I stored mine for a long time. I still have some in mine right now, and I know you do too. And then like my old mules go in there, like Taco Blade rigged up.
I
It's
do it all the
already
time.
in
It's
there.
never been a problem.
Never been an issue. Busby, never been an
No.
issue whatsoever. So you can definitely store those there. You can
Yes.
mix them in their own bags. If it's Z-Man to Z-Man, it's fine.
I save my
Um,
Z-Man bags so that I
do
can do
too.
that. I have
Yeah.
4 or 5 like back here stashed.
I've got a whole craw bag. It's just like 5 colors of
Yep.
craws, and it's just
Exactly.
one bag. So if I want to
Yep.
go bank fishing, it's super easy. So yeah, you can
Hundo.
definitely do that. The colors don't cross match. If it's Z-Man to Z-Man, you won't
good.
have an issue.
Yeah.
So just remember that golden rule, y'all. And then yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if I missed the other questions. We were kind of getting into it with some other stuff, but I saw some other stuff. And if you guys had an important question, throw
Somebody
it up
asked
again.
where you
We'll
can
catch you.
get a Ned Rig Nerd sticker. I've been doing them on giveaways. I have a couple here, but we do have
They're
them in the
available.
in the Shopify. You
Yep.
can get them from our Shopify store. So I think they're like $5 or
And
$6.
the flip around and find out. No,
And
they're
the flip around and find out one
$3.
too. Oh, they're $3. They're free. Go
Yeah.
get some.
And it's a
God.
4x6. It's a
Nathan Johnson,
gigantor.
there was an update on the ultralight rod. So we are still designing one with Monster Bass. There are hurdles that we are hurdling. I did, though,
Best we
send
can.
over all of the feedback that was due
Yep.
to the rod designer. So that is out.
So we're in part
took me-
2 of the second iteration here.
I
to
did.
work on.
I gave feedback on everything from
Yep.
action, power, length, hook keeper, the size of the guides, and also the color. I picked the Pantones for the colors. So all that feedback is with the manufacturer. What they're going to do is they're actually going to incorporate all that feedback into a painted model, and they're going to send it to us. And when we see that, we'll look at it with Rick. I will do another evaluation with Jeff, and we will test it again. And if it passes muster, we will likely, this will be our last round of feedback where we could say, look, it's good, but we want to change 1 or 2 things, and then that's it. Like, we're probably
iteration
done.
3 should be done. Yeah.
The iteration 3 will be what comes in the mail when you buy it. So we are very close, but yeah. And the price point is going to be under $100. So we're thinking 90.
That's been our goal from the
Our
start,
goal,
is to be under 100.
90 is what we're thinking about for the price point.
90 is great because it gets us all the premium parts. You get the better blank. You get, it's super well built, super strong, comfortable grip, split grip, cork handles. Like, it's phenomenal. The one we have isn't even an ultralight, and I still dig it. It's like a 6
really
foot
nice.
light. It's nice. It's not good for casting those jigs that we want to cast, though. We want to be able to cast a 132 like it's nobody's business, and we need a rod that'll load up. And it's just, unfortunately, a too powerful iteration of this rod. So we need something lighter.
The action's a little too fast.
Yeah. So we have some other questions in here I think are good. So here's what we're gonna do, you guys. Just start chatting. Say some stuff, right? And we're gonna roll our schmiv-away. This will be our slow rolling thunder. We're just gonna grab questions out of chat. But if you don't have a question, just write chat in there. And then Chaz is going to do a random draw to pick a Schwinner for the schmiv-away, which will be for a $25 Schmift card to monsterbest.com. I think I nailed it. I got all 3. All right, so I'm just grabbing some questions kind of at random. I did see somebody ask the question, if I have a small boat and I do these tournaments, can somebody else be in the boat? The answer is no. It's a kayak or bank angling. So if you got a dually kayak, I'm pretty sure that's no. Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
You're wrong.
You can do a dual kayak?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So
I
like
think
each
you're
one of you
wrong.
could be doing a tournament?
I think so.
All right. Well,
You
I
just can't
don't
have
want
it where
you
the
in my
other
kayak.
person catches your fish for you. They have to have their own
That would be
identifier.
bad.
No, that's illegal. It's against the rules.
Well,
But yeah, I don't think there's a
AKA
rule that
bad.
says two of you. I don't quote me. I would have to check. It's a great
He's saying
question.
boat. If it's a boat,
I don't
boat,
think it's
that's
I don't think it's illegal.
to fish out of a boat in a kayak tournament.
In a boat, yes, but in a 2-person
That's what I'm
kayak or like a
saying, instead of
canoe,
boat.
I
But
don't.
if a
I
dual
think a
kayak
canoe.
is
I think a 2-person canoe. You guys can. I think you can do it.
interesting.
I need to check, man.
Here's the thing: the rules you can download as a PDF, not a
Yeah.
PFD, and then you can do Control F. Works really great if you're on a Windows computer. If you're
Michael
on a Mac,
Michael M says I don't
Command
think
F.
you can have 2 in most kayaks for tournaments. So there you go. I would go with someone else who's more experienced. So I will say that. I just
Yeah.
don't remember seeing it explicitly called
My
out.
instant
No.
gut feeling was that was a no.
Yeah.
But all right, interesting. I saw somebody talk about donkey keeper, donkey liver.
To Burly, yes, bank fishers can compete in the Knucklehead series. That was open to them. That's new.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we mentioned that a few times. So definitely, if you guys want to participate, you don't have a boat, it's totally fine. You can just do that. Yeah, using some sort of fish lipper, as long as it's not in the picture, that's fine. And then you don't
You can't use it for measurement. You can use it for retrieving or holding the fish, but you just can't use it to take the photo for the measure.
It's got to come out. Mouth has to be closed. You can't do that with a fish lipper in there.
Yep.
And your fish donkey leash. Thank you. I was trying to find it here in chat, but yeah. So no, not in the picture, but yes, if you're staging the fish, whatever. Just keep your fish healthy too. And then I'm also pretty sure that your fish can't be injured. Cannot look.
No,
injured.
well, it can't be
So
like mauled. Yeah.
Yeah, if it is just bleeding profusely.
It can have a hole. It can be like injured or like whatever,
Like,
but it can't be. You
in the
can't have
wild,
mishandled.
but
You
you
can't have
mauled it.
mishandled it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you mauled it that doesn't qualify. So I did catch a bass this past weekend that unfortunately got a little foul hook, so I got him right back in the. I can't. It doesn't count. Like, so I'm just gonna put that back in.
Nope.
No, if you take a picture, Chaz, just with a speared bass, you're gonna. You know what? If you want to make the internet mad, it's a really fast way to do it, I think. Any other good questions that you caught in here, Chaz? Paul, maybe you saw.
I didn't see anything. I thought I
There's-
hit most of them.
I feel like we did pretty good.
Should we
Yeah.
should we
I
do a
think
giveaway?
maybe we should roll a schmiv away and then we'll do our soul thunder and get out of here. Just check your water temps. 55 to 60 degrees is usually a
May.
good idea, but it's typically 99.9% of the time repeating, of course, May. We're feeling mid-May, probably. We're up to
May.
47. We got at least a couple more. It's been nice weather as long as it stays steady, but like water temp takes a
May.
long time to come up.
All right,
Long time.
let's do this giveaway. Chaz,
Chaz,
roll it.
roll it. Who wins the schmivway? What?
What is
Hang
it?
on. Say that name.
Oh,
Bassin
with Big
Malone.
That's a
That's a
pretty
heck
rad
of a name.
I like it a lot.
All right. Bassin with Big Malone. Congrats. Number one rule, first of all, you have to be here. So you have to say hi. And then there will be instructions on the screen. So you can just follow those instructions, send that info on over, and then we will be out this Schmidt card. Lickety split. We do it pretty quick now. We got a system. So
We do. So
as long as I don't
need
need to ask Rick for gift cards, we have gift cards ready to go, like really fast.
I haven't seen Malone. I want to give him some time. Should we
You
ask
got a minute,
one
so
of
I'm
your
gonna
should we ask one of your questions?
let's do one of these questions. So should I do mine first?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Slow rolling thunder for real this time. Should we go see the Mario movie? We as in individually. Paul can't do anything this weekend. He is locked up. He's got family duty.
Only dad.
Only dad times. Has anybody seen the Mario movie? No spoilers, but if you have, is it good? Is it worth a viewing?
I have heard. I've had at least 5 people tell me that it's very good.
Really?
Yes. And these are adults. These are like full-grown adults. These are not like children.
These are people that grew up with Mario, though. Like,
Yeah,
you have a different relationship with
Yeah,
Mario.
they do.
Go see it, says Autism Anglers. Nice. I will take that's an instant yes for me.
Yeah.
Douglas says yeah. Okay, sure, why not? Thank you, Joshua.
Yeah, who's saying no?
Mario is sweet.
I still do. Okay, 30 seconds
They
30
nailed
seconds
it?
and it's
Okay.
Malone. 30 seconds, bro.
Oh, Malone, not Post Malone. Bassin with what was
You want
Big
you want-
Malone.
You want pre-Malone. You don't want post-Malone.
You don't want Post Malone. Pre Malone, good fishing.
10,
Post Malone,
10-second warning.
pain in
10,
the butt.
9,
We haven't had a reroll in a
8,
long time.
7, 6, 5,
Right?
4, 3,
2.5.
2,
1.5.
1.
Oh,
Post Malone is
Post Malone is
Post.
Malone no more.
Post. Sorry, bro.
Bummer. All right. Keep chatting.
Who is
So-
it? Losing Big Fish.
Losing
You are
Big
the new
Fish.
winner.
You were instantly re-rolled.
So losing Big Fish. I want to call out to you guys right now. If you were thinking about getting a Monster Bass card, Monster Bass rod, this $25 gift card puts it, in my opinion, in the
Mhm.
perfect price. Like, it is perfect. It takes care of the shipping. It gets you a discount.
It makes it
Like,
manageable.
take that gift card and consider saving it until you're ready to buy or thinking about buying a Monster Bass rod. Like, that is such a good deal.
All right. So losing Big Fish. Y'all here?
We
Don't
got
make us
another-
do this again. Now I'm gonna have
Dude,
to
I
ask
will.
another Slow Rolling Thunder. Okay. So we we were discussing something pre-show. I watched a video recently. One of the channels they played a fun game of beer pong, but with terrible flavors of soda. Pop for us up here, soda for y'all down south, Coke for y'all way down south. So what is the worst flavor of pop that you guys have ever seen and hopefully drank so you can share your experience with us. That's what I'm interested in. You think cream soda is the worst?
You're out of your absolute mind.
Get
you
out.
are a psycho.
Cut the stream. Get out of here.
What in the heck?
Birch beer? What is birch beer? I think I have had it.
What is that?
Is it like a cross between ginger ale and root beer? That sounds gross. I don't know. Any birch
I'm
beer
gonna go
lovers in
30-second warning. Hold on.
Oh,
we're at
we got
30 seconds.
somebody else is not losing big fish. Is about to lose big schmiv away. No. What if we just can't roll a schmiv away so we never leave this stream? John Long, get out of chat. It's cream soda. I am so
All right.
conflicted right now with y'all.
10, 9,
Jolt Cola, good answer. Terrible.
8, 7.
Homeboy's counting down.
6,
You guys are in trouble. Anything diet is worse. I kind of agree with you, Michael, for sure.
3,
As I drink a Diet Dr. Pepper.
1. Bro,
Whoa, Robert Jones said code red.
you're fired.
No.
You're fired. All right, Chaz, roll it. Dub
Dub
D's is here.
D's.
Dub
I've
D's is
seen
here.
you here.
He's
Dub
here.
D's is here. And he's gonna
We
save the
he's
chat.
15 seconds. There's a delay, so give it to him.
Yep, he's gonna save the chat.
Werner's is the worst?
Boom.
No.
Dub D's was on the delay perfection. He answered
Yes.
within 1 second. So Dub D's, you get it.
Attaboy. You
Losing
win
big fish,
$25
you
to
lost
Monster Bass.
a big schmiv away. So Dub D's, big Malone, now Post Malone. You have missed it, bud.
What is liquid death canned water? I don't.
It's just water.
I don't
Sparkling-
understand.
Does it even
No,
have a
I think
flavor?
it's just water. What's the
Dude,
point?
I'm not paying that much for sparkling water.
Is it
LaCroix is
expensive?
free. It's the cost of an energy drink, dude. Like, why am I buying liquid death?
What in the world is okay?
I'm sorry, but that's not happening. It's just water.
It's-
LaCroix is 12 cents a can. So
that is
just
the most
get LaCroix.
American thing I've ever heard. You know what we'll do?
We're gonna can water.
We'll call it death, and we'll make it
We're
water.
gonna be
No one
aggressive.
will
edgy.
buy it, or everyone will buy it, and either way, we win.
And we're all schmucks because people are buying it. Why?
What an
Who's
insane
buying
joke.
this? Ridiculous.
And on that note, our
other-
next members only is on May 9th. We should have some updates for you. We will be you're going to drop 2 videos, fishing videos in the next 2 weeks. One will be the tournament video. That'll be like 2 weeks from now. And then the one this Friday or next Friday, you'll see the tournament video that we're talking about.
Yep.
And then for Friday, I'm editing our first Monster Bass on the Water rod review. Dude, we caught on every single rod. We
it was a
caught
good
some.
day.
There was a big fish caught. It was a
Yep.
ton of fun. So that one drops Friday. Be pumped for that and keep your eyes peeled. Anything else, Jeff, that you got?
No, we're gonna share with you guys that tournament. I'm pretty excited. Who do you guys think won? You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. But we told our members only. They got to, so
They
yeah. if
did
you guys,
know. They know a lot more about other stuff too. Not
They
gonna
know
lie.
all sorts of stuff. If you guys
They
want to know
do.
some behind the scenes stuff, just click join below. You can check it out. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You guys have been awesome as always. Remember this number. Write it down. Put it in stone somewhere. 150 viewers. Boom, 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 boom. 150 viewers, and we'll do an extra schmiv away. So if you want another chance at some good tackle, potentially we spice it up sometimes. You get some apparel, maybe you get a reel. Bring your friends next time. Hang out together. So next Wednesday, same time, same place. And we appreciate you all. We'll see you later. Chaz, pick us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I deserve to say I'm sorry.
kept spitting at my feet and forced me down a dead-end street when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry.